Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Ryan Wilson. I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona State Chapter of NORML. And I wanted to actually have the opportunity to talk to you guys here all for a few minutes, along with the rest of the team here from today's wonderful first kickoff day of our lobby week. And I'm going to turn it on over to, Mike to introduce. Actually, why don't we go around and do a quick introduction here real fast? I'll let you guys each speak. Mike, go ahead.
John, go ahead.
All right. Passing the buck. I'm John.
Already. I have nothing to say. I'm like, John.
It's been certainly a day with a whole lot of talking, so I don't blame you, Mike. I'm John Udell. I'm the communications director of Arizona NORML, and one of its board members. Had an exciting lobby day today, lots of talking with legislators. And with that, I'll throw it over to Julie for a little quick introduction there.
Hey y'all, I'm new around here. I'm Julie Gunnagal. I am the Director of Politics and Civic Engagement. And yeah, it's been a hell of a day and a really good one at that.
And I'm Mike Robinette, Director of Southern Arizona NORML on the Arizona NORML Board of Directors. I must echo the sentiment of both John and Julie. Phenomenal day. It has been incredible. And this is nothing against other lobby days, because when we create a lobby day, it's like we birthed the baby and it is ours. But I have to say, today's experience, having organized 2 other lobby days and another one in DC, today was phenomenal. It was incredible. I'm just popping with exuberance, excitement to be part of this grassroots experience, to be able to reach out and talk with our elected officials and to have them listen and joke and laugh. And we had such great meetings today. So if you got the time and if you got the urge, jump in with us and you'll see for yourselves how great this is. And today, like I said, was flawless. The technology worked perfectly. All our meetings were so great, and we did such a great job of being cannabis ambassadors. So all I'll say is join us, and I think you'll feel really a great, deep, visceral reward from the experience.
Mike, what was your favorite part of today?
Well, that's a hard question. Well, from a Polish standpoint, I like getting transported to a breakout room. For whatever reason, that for me is a really exciting thing when we go from the big room and we're transported to another room and then we pop right back. For that, from the technological perspective, I truly enjoy that. So honestly, just join us to get transported from the big room to the breakout room. Right there. That's worth the ticket price, which is free. However, for me, Ryan, it's the entire experience. It's when we're on the call and we have constituents and leadership people and normal people on there, and we're having a conversation with a legislator. That's what it is. Such an incredible experience for me personally. And that's what I love about it. I love that experience, and to be able to talk freely and express our concerns and explain how things affect our community. It's just an incredible experience.
And which community is that you're referring to there, Mike?
Teachers? No, I'm joking. No, the cannabis community, our community.
Our community. Yeah, but hasn't that community grown since passage of Prop 207? It's not just cannabis consumers anymore, right? It's everyone. It affects all Arizonans, right?
Absolutely.
John, what about you? I want to hear from you. What was your take on today here?
So honestly, I think my favorite part was probably hearing Mike talk with all the legislators about transporting from the lobby to the breakout rooms. As you may have noticed when he was through that little anecdote just now, I was still laughing, and I've heard this over and over throughout the entire course of the day. It doesn't get old. It also doesn't get old hearing constituents, all of our membership come out and tell their personal stories to legislators, and watching just seeing the visceral reaction through the screen about how that's really cutting through the noise and leaving a real mark with legislators, and that's a really valuable thing. This was my first personal lobby day of my life. I thought it was an incredible experience getting to tell my own personal story with medical marijuana. talking about some of the really important bills that are up for debate in this legislative session. And, not just hearing from constituents and what they thought, but also hearing, right from the horse's mouth, what do the legislators think about these? What questions do they have? How can we be helpful providing them with more information? And I really got the sense that, even people I wouldn't expect so far were open to persuasion. They were open to having that dialogue, to having that conversation. And I thought that was a really valuable experience, and it shows how we as an organization can be really valuable to all of our members throughout the duration of the legislative session.
Well said.
You're muted.
Yes, I know. It's like you would think with the amount of practice that we've had,
It's like reliving lobby. You're muted. You're muted.
It just happens, I guess. All right, Julie, I want to hear from you, Julie. How was your first day lobbying with Arizona NORML?
Oh my goodness, it was so good. I mean, my favorite part is still the unbridled joy that breakout rooms give Mike. One day I want someone to look at me like Mike looks at a breakout room. I'm just saying that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Second favorite, though. Second favorite. And it was like the second meeting of today. We had a representative tell us that she already knew all about the bad DUI law that we were talking about, that bill that sets that arbitrarily and not scientific low limit of 2 nanograms per milliliter, and that people had already been doing the good work of reaching out to her and educating her. So to our audience, it's breaking through, it's working. Whether you can come with us on lobby day or if it's sending in emails the way you'd prefer to communicate with your representatives, know that they are listening to you on these issues. I thought that was incredibly powerful.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. And it's a pleasure. Mike, did you want to run through the bills real quick while we've got everyone on the air kind of listening here?
Well, the first bill is now, of course, we're very strategic in the order in which we talk about the bills, but we can't reveal those strategies publicly. However, they're very esoteric and known by very, very few people. However, the first bill is that John and Julie, well, actually, John's been talking more about that one today. In fact, I'll let John talk again about it. It is the DUI bill, and here's how it plays out. Actually, here's how it plays out. We'll talk about, we'll say, and given the resounding 60-40 victory of Prop 207, this bill is a direct assault on the citizen's voice relative to Prop 207 and legalization. And then John will talk about then the 2 nanogram per milliliter per se bill, and I'll let John go from there.
Yeah, so this bill would establish a 2 nanograms per milliliter limit on to establish someone's driving intoxicated for purposes of DUI law. Like Mike said, it's a direct assault on Prop 207, as all of our viewers, I'm sure, know throughout all of our live streams and following along closely with things. Prop 207 says that law enforcement needs to show that people are actually impaired before it charges them with a DUI. This bill lets them show actual impairment by showing that there's 2 nanograms per milliliter of THC in your blood. And that's really awful for a number of reasons. It's going to catch up a lot of cancer patients, real medical marijuana patients, even just good rec consumers who are otherwise law-abiding citizens. Maybe they smoked the night before, they wake up in the morning, they go to the grocery store for groceries, they get pulled over. They still have 2 nanograms per milliliter of THC in their blood. They haven't put anyone else at risk. Now they're facing a DUI charge, attorney's fees, even though this is, again, unconstitutional and will be overthrown by court, wasting a lot of our taxpayer dollars in the process. And as we also all know, there's very little evidence showing that marijuana consumption, at least at that kind of a limit, creates risks of traffic accidents on the road. There's a lot of research showing that people drive slower when they consume THC. They're just as able to control their vehicle. They're just as able to use the brakes. So it's a really wide net trying to stop a problem that's really not all that significant in the first place. And I've been very happy to hear virtually all legislators at least either share those views or not be closed off to hearing them.
Well said and well done for like the 10th time today.
And for about another. By the way, while we're on the topic of how many meetings I was about to speak of, we actually scheduled another meeting today, bringing our grand total to not 50. I bet you can add it, 51 meetings scheduled.
That's awesome.
We basically broke the record we just set.
I think it's going to keep on happening that way too, Mike. So I'd like to give Julie maybe an opportunity to talk about, one of the other important bills that, we've got our eye on, pretty steady here. Go ahead, Julie.
Oh, yeah. The other set of bills that we've been talking about are the autism bills that almost got passed and made into law last legislative session and were held up by COVID. But we have bills outstanding right now that would create another category for ASD folks who want access to medical marijuana. So we're spending our time educating our legislators why it's not enough that rec passed, and why people who have autism spectrum disorder would want access, whether it be to not have to pay taxes on it or to avoid employment discrimination, or in the category of minor consumption, be able to access it for youth who have the signs and symptoms of autism. So we've been educating people as to why we need to pass that bill and how we can make it even better by removing there's this strange monthly meeting requirement that's not built into any sort of best practice or standard of care in medicine. So we're trying to get that removed to make this bill even better, but letting people know that we stand by this bill. We stood by it last legislative session, and we hope to get it across the finish line this time.
Well said, Julie. Thank you very much. Mike, what else we got?
The other bill is our ally Representative Payne's bill, and that's if you've been following our live streams, that's the good research bill. And Representative Payne's bill simply opens up the capacity to fund clinical research trials into marijuana, its efficacy in human patients, how it interacts with prescription drugs, and all kinds of great things that we would benefit in knowing as cannabis consumers, and also particularly because we're in the business of educating. So with good research, we can certainly educate well. And that's important for our mission. But Representative Payne's bill allows that to happen by funding research through the medical marijuana fund. And we're excited to promote it because we can also bring it back to the DUI bill, because with good sound research, we can defeat these low per se DUI sort of horrendous, bills that are occurring, not just here.
And not you mean the things that aren't based in science?
Arbitrarily chosen limits, those sort of things. We did actually have legislators today tell us that no, those bills are that bill won't pass, or not won't pass, literally won't pass constitutionally, that it's a violation of the Voter Protection Act.
Good research, though. That's the main point there. Good
Absolutely.
research.
Yes.
And on the tech side, what we use is, good data in, good data out, bad data in, bad data out. So it's, same type of thing here. You got to have good data to be able to base your, information, your decisions off of. And that's what this bill's meant to do. So thank you guys for kind of doing a little streamlined version of, what we were discussing here today and what we've been working on. If any of these topics are of interest to you out there, feel free to join us, on any of these days that we've got, arizonanormal.org/volunteer. Your voice can be heard, and they do pay attention, guys. It's, extremely powerful, so if you have any interest whatsoever in any of these topics, reach out on this page, sign up, and we'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you and figure out the best place for your particular skill set to come on in and really be successful with what it is that we're doing and we're trying to accomplish. So thank you all. Much appreciated for your time. And we've got our training actually first thing in the morning too, don't we, Mike?
I believe it's 7:30 a.m. in the morning will be the beginning of the training session. But it's not just a training session. It's a briefing session where we can kind of talk with people about what we, strategies, what we did on day one going into day two. And so we welcome everyone to join us, even if you've already been trained and are fully adept at handling your lobby day experience. We welcome everybody to jump in. Plus, it's a way to get kind of amped up. But I did want to mention one thing. In the morning, we're a little down with our energy. But right now, you might see that each one of us has got a little more pep in how we're talking. And I can feel the energy coming off of each one of you as well. And you know what that energy's from? It's from Lobby Day today. I can't kick it. I'm popping with energy.
I don't think you could lose any of that energy. It'd probably take a lot to lose it. There,
But
Mike.
join us. We'd love to have you guys join us. It's a great experience.
So thank you all very much for your time. Thank you, Julie, Mike, and John for kicking ass today. And let's keep it up, guys. This is a hell of a lot of fun, and looking forward to the other 3 days that we've got booked here. So come on out and join the fun. And with that, Arizona, have a good night.